cold flesh, dirt, maggots, and ghosts.
Hey guys, it's Raychich, and in this video we'll talk about new league mechanics, the most important changes and patch notes in 3.24 Necropolis League. In POE Necropolis we're gonna bury corpses and craft items, so it sounds pretty nice, and this is gonna be crafting league and I'm very happy about it. The Lantern of Arimor mechanic looks really interesting and not common. As for me, this is somewhat similar to the Trial of the Ancestors League, where you had to field your team to capture totems, but now we will choose what modifiers the monsters will have in order to kill them. The lantern can be used when entering any new area, so it means campaign will be a little longer because we need to spend some time to configure these modifiers and monsters. Like, we can configure which monsters are affected by which mods, and also we can see something like tiers with numbers from 1 to 4 that represents the difficulty itself. Sometimes the monsters aren't haunted at all, but are instead devoted, and this means can grant experience or spawn the NPC that will grant you a single unique item after you defeat all of the packs affected by this spirit. And I would like to have this table in Act. Actually, the more monsters you have defeated in previous area, the more likely the devoted monsters will appear in the next area, so it makes sense. The second main reward from the Necropolis mechanic is monsters with Unresolved Anguish. When we slay these monsters, the Undertaker will come and take its corpse to the morgue. We can visit the morgue and see the monsters we have collected and then bury them in one or many graves to craft items. Finally, crafting section. Essentially, we can greatly influence the final crafted item since we choose lucky mods for the item, and in Necropolis League there are a lot of crafting options here. And we can bury multiple corpses in the cemetery, and all of the crafting effects on those corpses will apply to the same item. We can even use the entire cemetery to craft one item. And it means that this type of crafting will be less random than any other, since we have the opportunity to choose really many conditions for the future item, and this is super cool. We can also craft new unique items in the cemetery using new crafting system. While exploring campaign or maps, you might find the corpses of famous Eternal Empire families, and when you bury the entire family together, fun, they will give you a unique specific to their lineage. For example, with the Periandes Pact unique jewel, we can even change the modifiers it generates. This starts it as a randomly generated, but we can affect a specific type by using other crafting effects like increasing the chance of life modifiers, and here is unlock, so it's not guaranteed. These corpses and coffins are tradable with other players, so we'll be able to buy them on trades and sell them. Also, in 3.24 Necropolis League will be Embers. They are small items, something like orbs, which we can use in the Lantern of Arimor when entering the new area to make monsters even more rewarding. And yep, in Necropolis League the status is back, and we can get this status as a reward while using one of these embers. So for example, here's what it means. There are many different types of these embers and they affect rewards in some way. Actually, that's all I wanted to tell you about new league mechanic, and I think it's pretty decent because of new crafting system, which I really like. And now about important changes. The first really important change in 3.24 that we can have multiple atlas tree at the same time, and when we launch the map we can switch between them. And it's super cool because now you will not need to change the tree 10 times per league or run the same thing. Like if you want to run some magic find strat, you can do it and not to change your main atlas tree. You just need to create another one and switch when you want to play something else. I really enjoy this change. The next change is about Scarabs. There is a big change. Now Scarabs will work completely different, and there are no differences between them in tiers, as there was before. Like Rusted is worse than Gilded. Now each Scarab of the same content types just works completely different. That is, now each type of Scarab doesn't enhance the previous one, but changes its mechanics. In fact, it's an interesting change, but you will need to think about what will be better, and it will take some time. The next change is about Uber Pinnacle bosses. In Necropolis League, they removed the keystones that give access to the Uber Pinnacle bosses from the Atlas tree, and instead they added a new set of fragments that give an access to this content. And these fragments you can get in new tier 17 maps, with new bosses, Uber monsters and new tier of modifiers. There are 5 tier 17 maps in total, and each has final boss fights at the end. And there are new uniques that drop from these Uber Pinnacle bosses, and I actually think that Ravenous Patient Helmet looks really strong for many spell builds and totems, but we need to test it later. New change that in 3.24 we can't choose masters that will be in map, and not the only master can appear in one map. It can be like Einar and June in the same map, and it's small change, but I don't personally care about it. I have already made short videos about other small quality of life changes, so they're on my channel and don't really affect the gameplay. It's much more important to express my opinion about the patch notes, what has become weaker and what could be stronger in 3.4 Necropolis League. So now guys, about patch notes. In general, there are not a lot of skill changes in 3.24 patch notes, just some nerfs and Transfigured Gems reworks. I will not talk about Transfigured Gems reworks so much, but let's start with the most popular skills. Tornado Shoot has been massively weakened and now it has less attack speed, more mana cost and no additional projectile. So I think Lightning Arrow is much better now than Tornado Shot, and if you like playing Magic Find bow build, you better choose LA. Penance Brand of Dissipation was expectedly weakened, just it was too strong in the Affliction League and it's not surprising. Now it just deals much less damage, but I guess you can run Sanctum with this build anyway in Necropolis League, but it will be not as strong as before. Archmage can no longer support Brand or Orb skills, so it's not a big nerf, but Ball Lightning of Static build is completely destroyed, and that now if you wanted to start this league with Substrate and Ball Lightning of Static build, it's a bad news for you. Summoned Raging Spirits was little nerfed, so League Start version will not be as good as before, and I will not recommend to start Necropolis League with Asteroids Poison build, so keep it in mind. Stormbrand of Indecision has been completely weakened in this league. It has less effectiveness of damage, longer cast time, less flat lightning damage and less quality bonus damage, so I guess it's that too. About items, as I expected, they nerfed Relic Edge Boots. Thanks God they didn't remove this unique from the game, but you will no longer have 30% bonus movement speed on this boot, so it will be much slower but the damage will be the same. Everyone was worried about, and this is what happened. Now we cannot bind the skill to the left mouse button, and in return a new skill has been added that clicks instant ability for us. Okay. As I said before in the video, Necropolis League Teros is back, so it's not bad. It's good maybe, because with these small edge Teros we can balance our builds, just get some attributes, proj speed, life, mana or else. Also I predict that uniques from Uber bosses will be super expensive in this league, and Progenitus Flask as well. 6 stands are removed in Necropolis. We cannot choose Master Tron map with, but we can actually switch between Atlas trees, so I'm okay with it. It's super cool. That's all about patch notes on Necropolis, guys. Maybe I missed something big and important. Write it in the comments and I will answer. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to follow my YouTube and especially Twitch, because I will stream this league almost every day. I need your support, guys. Discord is open for everyone, you can just ping me there, and if you want to support me with some cash, you can sub me on Twitch or Patreon, guys. I love you all, new videos will be pretty soon, so good luck.